Hey guys, what's going on? This is another idol. We're back inside of Destiny, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Prison of Elders. It's been about 5 to 6 weeks since the release of the House of Wolves DLC, and I just want to talk about what I like and what I dislike about the Prison of Elders, and how I think that it could be improved over time. There's definitely a lot of potential there. And I just want to start off by saying that I really do like the concept and the mode. It does breathe a new fresh of life into Destiny. The mode itself is very different compared to the raid end game activities. And like I said, it's not perfect, and there is definitely room for improvement, like many things in Destiny. But I just want to take the time to just discuss what I like and what I don't like. So let's start off with the things that I like about the Prison of Elders. I like the whole concept. I like that there's different maps for the different enemies, and you have objectives that you have to complete within those sorts of environments. I like that you have different bosses and they rotate every week. I like the concept of the loot system at the end. I think that's quite an ingenious way of providing you with loot. And I also like the addition of the exotic bounties. I think that's a new way of getting loot, rather than the traditional way of getting exotic bounties through, you know, bounties and RNG. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still RNG to get that bounty, but you kind of seem to have a higher chance of getting that bounty. I also really like the addition of modifiers and new modifiers that they've brought in. I think a lot of them add a really challenging element to the whole mode, and I think it keeps you on your toes, especially on the higher tier levels of the Prison of Elders. But I just can't help but feel like the Prison of Elders is just lacking something. I don't like the fact that the modifiers are easily guessed. They are pretty much the same week after week, and it doesn't add to much of the challenge. From the impression that I got on the reveals, each room was going to be randomized. It was going to have random modifiers. You'd go in, you wouldn't know what modifier was going to hit you, and it would be a complete surprise every time that you stepped in, and that just simply isn't the case. What has actually happened is there is a set list of modifiers for the week, and those are the modifiers that you play with for that week. I would really like to see modifiers change in a way where every time you go in, it's based on RNG. So you could go in one day and you could get airborne and grounded, but you could also get arc burn and I don't know, and light switch the next time you go in, you know, or the next time you play that round. It could really add an element of surprise, and you'd need to take in your best weapons all the time just in case something unexpected crops up. Another issue that I have with the Prison of Elders is the environments themselves. Whilst the maps are great, they're well thought out, and I really like the design of them, it would be pretty good if they took some of the environments and the environments evolved over time. If any of you have played Rise Son of Rome, there was a mode where you would go into the Colosseum. It was kind of like a PvP mode, and after every round, something would change within the Colosseum. So the environment would change. There would be ledgers, there'd be traps, etc. Now I can understand why this would be difficult to implement. There are certain memory constraints with last gen being involved in the development, so it's probably not something that could be done, but it could add an interesting element to the Prison of Elders itself. If you have a certain spot that you like to camp in, for example, that could be removed on the second round, and this would just add an element of surprise. And I think that is something that is really lacking from the Prison of Elders, the lack of surprise overall. Now, another thing that I would like to see more of in the Prison of Elders is objectives. Currently we have the same 3 objectives, that is the defusing the splinter mines, destroying the splinter mines, and eliminating the target. Quite frankly, I think that this is one area where the Prison of Elders really lacks. There are tons and tons of things that they could do to improve this area. There could be some real interesting mechanics. For the Vex room, for example, they could have a Vex gate where there's floods of enemies coming out, and it could have an increased health, and you'd have to destroy the gate. That is just one idea that I've had that could just add an extra element of surprise to the Prison of Elders. I think that, you know, I keep mentioning this element of surprise, and that's something that I really expected there to be more of within the Prison of Elders. I expected to go in there and, you know, really be surprised at what kind of modifiers they're going to be, really surprised at the difficulty of certain rounds, and I just can't help but feel like there isn't that much of a surprise there. But don't get me wrong, guys, I do feel like, you know, you have to be critical sometimes of things that you love, and I really do love this mode. Although I may not play it as much as I should, I've got sucked into the PvP endgame, and PvE has taken a bit of a backseat for me. So I'd really like to know what you guys think of the Prison of Elders. What are some things that you would like to see? What do you like? What do you dislike? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time back inside of Destiny.